as it goes, the tighter you grip something, the more it slips through your fingers. Uh, that's not really a metaphor; it's really measurable, and it's actually a psychological phenomenon that comes with it. And I think that's why most people are not as successful as they can be because they're trying to fix their identity to an outcome. All right, and because of that, it stalls your progress. So today we're going to talk about the law of detachment, right? On some real applicable type vibe. Not no Instagram type click shit, but some real in a real way where it can apply when you apply the principles, it can transform your life. All right. So the real mechanism behind it is when your brain and body you try to attach your identity to an outcome, and that becomes to work against you instead of for you. So you're trying to have that outcome to prove to yourself that you're this, right? And you try to put your identity with that or link your identity to that outcome. All right. So, you know, attachment in fitness doesn't look like ambition, really. It look like, if you miss a workout and the whole week, your whole week feels like it's ruined. You hit a plateau, you start questioning if you're capable, you see someone else's transformation, and your own progress suddenly feels smaller. Like I told you, like my man said one time, you start comparing, that's when you start losing, right? In that sense. So it's not really motivation in that sense. It's really when your nervous system is treating a fitness goal like a survival threat, right? So here's the part that most people don't explain. Is when your brain treat a goal like a threat, it activates the same stress response as an actual threat, right? Your cortisol level goes up, your focus narrows, and your fine motor control, the kind that keeps you from a clean lift or controlled tempo, a good form under fatigue gets worse, not better. All right, because your brain can't differentiate. I'm all messed up right now. Yeah, you know the word. I laugh at myself sometimes. You can't tell the difference between the two, what's real and what's not. But later on, I get the word, which I know I'm trying to say, right? So it becomes like you're chasing a goal, and it becomes less effectively, right? So and your body is working against you. Remember, it's all about alignment. We keep stress that enough, right? So it's not about chasing; it's about aligning yourself with who and what you're trying to become. All right. So when we talk about the law of attachment, the detachment is not merely just a philosophical pursuit. It's really more performance psychology, right? So it says researchers have studied what's called choking under pressure for decades, and the pattern is consistent. When people become hyper focused on the outcome of a performance rather than execution of it, performance gets worse, right? So they said a technical term for this is explicit monitoring. Is where your conscious mind starts micromanaging a process that works better when it runs automatically. All right. So you want to have your body basically on cruise control, So when you compare it to your training, it's like the best set you ever had. When where you start mirroring, start terrified, but you're not worried about failing. You're just in the moment, right? That's what's all about, like being present, and then you locked in, and then you're focusing more so on the movement, what you're trying to accomplish, right? So the detachment is like in the action, not apathy. It's not you load your standards, just your attention in the right place. That's all it is. All right. So detachment isn't giving up on what you want. It's refusing to let what you want hold your nervous system hostage. All right. Because sometimes we do that to ourselves as well. Like even more and more I study and I learned that about certain things too. No matter how we may feel like we should be at a certain place in our life, right? Or I should be XYZ. I should be because you're trying to attach yourself to that outcome or your identity to that outcome, but rather just becoming the person who you meant to be. Just start doing the things that you're supposed to do, or act like the person that you want to become, quote unquote, and reverse engineer backwards, and you align yourself to that, right? So that's how you have your nervous system work with you instead of against you. All right. So no matter what, act like they're saying, act like you already know things are going to work out. We're so worried about the outcome, or if we don't get the desired outcome, we think we're a failure or we're other than what we want to be, and totally not true. All right. So check it out. It's like this because fitness first, and I use fitness as a metaphor for life. So when you start with fitness, you track your lifts. You got a great target, but your attention, for example, during the set, goes to the process, the bar bath, breath, tempo, not what the number you will say. The number won't say about you as a person, right? So if you try to get 10 and you got 6, you're not less of a person because you're 4 reps shy. You just work harder or work smarter to know where you are. Like, for example, when I tell clients with the in-body scan, because they don't like doing that because it weighs them and they got to see their body fat. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Or I tell my online clients to weigh themselves and they're like, no, Tristan, I don't want to weigh myself. I'm too ashamed. I'm like, that's good. That's why you need to weigh yourself because it's a North Star. But that's not who you are. It's just showing you where you need to go. You see what I'm saying? So when it comes to fitness, it's also a mindset shift, but the mindset shift leads to a better lifestyle shift as well. All right. So these things here that we're instilling in them as a fitness coach, you're instilling them the principles and the actions to make them become the person at the end. You see what I'm saying? So they get into the habits of doing that, but not so for the result. It's just for them to do that to get their goal in a way. I know it almost sounds contradictory, but you understand what I'm saying, right? They're doing taking the necessary actions to get the desired goal. But even if they fall quote unquote short, they're still not less of a person, or they're not too tied up in that success. Because what you want them to do is take the action to get towards it, not so much of the outcome, right? So when it goes back to the fitness thing, right? So detachment sounds like, for example, when we give the example with the PR, right? So you're just doing the work and the outcome is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So it's not because you don't care, it's because caring less about the scoreboard and more about the process, it will actually move the scoreboard. So just incorporating those daily habits to be who you need to be. All right. Because it is, the outcome is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, this is just not for fitness. It's really for life in general, right? So if you check in your phone a few minutes after sending a text, replying, replaying a conversation, if you're gripping a specific reaction for someone, needing a project to work to go a certain way to feel like you're doing okay, it's the same thing, right? Because you're so attached to that outcome and then it's not working with you. I watch a lot of dating coaches and they're fun and they teach you this too as well. Some of them be like, yo, you're outcome dependent. So that's what's preventing you from getting what you want. Because they feel like, oh my God, this girl doesn't like me. And they played into the scenario in their head of them being rejected. Instead of them looking at rejection as a good thing, like, oh, okay, I'm on to the next. It just, I know now she's not interested. I'm on to the next. Because there's other women out here. You know what I'm saying? They so caught up, like, oh my God, something's wrong with me. Maybe she thinks I'm ugly. Maybe I'm not tall enough. Nah, maybe she's just not in the mood for you at the moment. Right? Same thing. So everything's connected, right? So your nervous system, like I said, you want to work with your nervous system. It's not going to be like, I need this to happen. And then it goes into survival mode. Just be like, I'm doing the work. It is what it is. I'm preparing for the worst case scenario. But at the end of the day, it's not going to kill you. You know what I'm saying? So the people who seem calm under pressure aren't calm because they don't care. They just separated their effort from their identity. The work is theirs. The outcome isn't. And that's what you have to realize too. And the more you get involved in life and become more present, you start worried about things you can't control. That's wisdom. There's a prayer about it or a saying. I can't remember it right now because I don't want to mess it up. I'm maybe having a hard time pronouncing certain words. But once you worry about things you can control, that's when life is easier. Stop worrying about things you can't control, and the outcome is what it is. Just put in the work, and the results will come. Simple as that. Don't have to overcomplicate things. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to detachment, we're gonna lower this misconception because I think this is one that needs to be talked about. So when you're detached, people think that you're lowering the bar, and it's actually the opposite. So like in sports, right? Elite performers in every field, whether they're athletes, surgeons, or musicians, they train themselves toward the same state on purpose, right? It's the same underlying skill behind what's often called flow. I just recently did a video, so everything's connected, right? So you bring full intensity to the process and let go controlling the results. That's not a lower standard. That's a harder skill than obsessing ever was. All right. So just let it go. Also, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna start practicing this today, right? So you're gonna pick one thing that you're gripping too tight. And you know when you hold on to things too much, too hardly, you know you end up hurting yourself, right? And when you let it go, you're free, right? Get it? And all right. So whether it's a number, a timeline, someone else's opinion on your progress, just do the work anyway without needing to prove anything about you, right? So comment below with one thing that you're going through to loosen your grip on this week. Like I said before, I read all you guys' comments, and I appreciate each and every one of you. I really do. You know what I'm saying? So this is Alchemy Fitness. We transfer from there to gold. Train hard, train smart, and train safe. Till next time. Peace.